In this lesson, we will set up a simple web application using Node.js and Express. To do so, first we're going to create a directory and create some files. I'm going to create my directory and I'm going to name it my WebRTC app. Then I'm going to navigate to the newly created folder and I'm going to create another folder inside called public. Inside the public folder, I'm going to create some other files, the index.html and also the main.js file. Also, I need a file in the root directory, so I will name it app.js. Okay. Now let's initialize this folder as a node project and we will add the Express dependency. We do this by using the npm unit command, and we're also going to install the Express dependency. Okay. So now let's populate the files. Let's start with the Express server. I'm going to use the Visual Studio Code editor, but you can use the one you prefer. Okay, let's open the app.js file. In here, we need to require the Express dependency. Then we need to declare the app variable, which is the one that is going to be linked to the Express engine. We're also going to need a variable called HTTP. We're going to use this in a future video, but we're going to declare it now. And we're going to bend this to the app. We also need the ports. I'm going to set it to environment variables so we can manipulate the port on which the application will be running. But I'm also going to add a fallback volume. It's going to be 3000. Now we use the Express framework to configure hosting, static hosting for the public folder. And finally, we will set up the HTTP to listen on the port we already defined. And we're also going to show a friendly message that the app is running. Listening on the ports. Okay. Now we need to open the index.html file. In the index.html file, we're going to define a typical HTTP file with a header. I'm going to set the title. Let's call it WebRTC training. Now let's find the body. And we're going to set the name here. So WebRTC training. And now we need to do this. One is going to be our login page. We're going to call it select room. Here we will set up a label. We're going to type room name. We're also going to set the inputs in which the users are going to write the room name. I'm going to name it room number. And type is going to be text. You also need a button that users can press, and this is going to be called Go Room. Okay, this is the login page. We're going to set another tip. It's going to be the consulting room where the calls are going to take place. This one is going to be hidden by default. We're going to display it later using JavaScript. And in here, we're going to put 2 video elements. One is going to be the local video. It's important that we set the autoplay attribute to be able to see the stream to be showing automatically. So, and we might also need another video tag for the remotes. Also going to set the autoplay attribute. And finally, we need to add script tag that is going to be pointing to our main.js file. And that's it. Now, to end with this video, we're going to set some values and variables into the app.js file. Into the main.js file. What we're going to do here is that we're going to add reference to the elements that we have defined in the index.html. This one is going to be the select room, and I'm also going to add the bios for the other elements. I'm going to speed the video here, but be sure to also add these values to your own project. Okay, so now we need to add some other variables to host some other values that we're going to use in future videos. So let's add the values. This is going to be the room number. We're also going to set the local stream, the remote stream as well. We need our RTC peer connection objects, and we're also going to use a helper variable call to define who is the one that's making the call. Another thing that we need to define is our ICE server. If you recall, when we talk about RTC peer connection topic, we said that we need to set the ICE servers when we create the RTC peer connection. So we're going to define them in here. The way to define them is through an object called, which is formal in its way. We're going to add an array of objects. This is going to contain the URLs. We're going to use this done server provide by Mozilla. And we're also going to use this done server provide by Google. This one is a little bit longer. Google.com. In the port 19 to 302. Also, we're going to define stream constraints. It's going to be a constant too. The string constraints will be applied to the video and audio streams. You're going to define audio and also video. So now, let's run our app. Currently, we won't see that much. Let's take a look. Here we have the application. When you're ready, move to the next lesson.